Hey, good evening. It is Eagle 1023 coming to you from Tampa, Florida. It's 8:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the 6th of May, 2017. If you went out and then celebrated Cinco de Mayo yesterday, I hope you had a good time and you were safe. I managed to eat some tacos, leftover tacos. Thanks, Mom and Dad. That was pretty good leftovers last night, and I really enjoyed those. So, wow, it's been a while, and a lot of things on my mind. I've got a lot on my mind. How's 2017 progressing for the world? That's the topic that I'm thinking about. Um, it doesn't look good, does it? It really doesn't. Small victories here and there, but overall, there's a lot of distressing news, a lot of distressing events. Um, we elected President Trump last November, well, supposedly elected. It's hard to say anymore. With everything being computerized, the voting system is easily rigged and maneuvered in any direction. Whoever, it's not your vote that counts. It's who counts the votes that counts. And that's an honest truth. People don't want to hear that, especially those that will stand in line for 8 hours. But it really is that simple. It's not your vote that counts. It's who counts the votes that matters. Um, but we ended up with President Trump. Uh, Hillary would have been a complete and utter disaster for the world, not just for the United States, but the world. You put her in charge of Libya, and look how that turned out. God, it's unreal. The hell on earth we've created with our tax money for those people over there who just wanted to live their life and be left alone, just as we do. Um, it's just deplorable. It's sad. It's tragic. It's every awful thing you can think of, and we don't stop. We don't know when to stop. Syria, we went into Syria to had to overthrow that government because God knows Saudi Arabia wanted to run a pipeline, an oil pipeline through Syria, so to that Gulf, and Syria said, "No, and that's the Saudi and the U.S. interests," and Syria said, "No, thank you. I think we'll let Russia do their thing with their pipeline," and ooh, that was not the right decision. If you look at all the nations that we've invaded um, over the past 15 years, from Iraq in 91 the first time, and then the second attack on Iraq, to uh, Libya and Afghanistan and Syria, and we're looking at Iran and North Korea. They all have one thing in common: they're not tied to the banking elite. They want their own currency. They don't want to be told what to do and told how much to borrow and when to borrow and how much they owe. They're not stupid. They know every country is in debt to this corrupt cabal, and they don't want to be a party to that. But guess who runs the show? It's that corrupt cabal. So, hence, they're enemies of their state of wealth, and we just go along with our tax money, and it's tragic to me. It's just tragic. But there have been some small victories here and there. We had a couple here in Florida. Um, the Everglades Trust kind of pushed for legislation that supports the replenishment of the Everglades and the freshwater system, and that passed. I can't believe it. I get absolutely shocked that our whatever I don't even want to say it, but our Florida legislature actually supported some positive legislation, and the solar amendment 4 that passed last November pretty much got a clean ride. There was a lot of attempts to dirty it up, but those are two good things that had happened. And the here in Florida, the issue of the amendment issue on legalizing marijuana for medicinal purposes passed overwhelmingly last November, and the legislature is hell-bent on criminalizing every aspect of it that they can, continue the same old nonsense, the same old insanity, the authoritarian two-step. It's distressing. The people spoke. They spoke loud and clear, and these legislators don't give a damn. They don't care. Most of them have an R next to their name. Some of them have a D, but most of them have an R. Let's call it what it is. Most of the legislation that's passed here in Florida that's against the people is passed by one side of the aisle. It's always pro-corporate. And it's just, I don't know what to say. It's just, we have not evolved. But anyway, I wonder what people's thoughts are. Wonder how people feel about President Trump thus far. Has he kept his promises? I mean, I know the answers to these questions, but I'm just throwing it out there. Has he been a man of the people? Has he drained the swamp? Is he sticking up for the little guy? Anything that's beneficial to we the people. Has he passed any legislation that's done an ounce of good for any of us? Just curious if anybody has any ideas or can offer me maybe a list of legislation that he has passed that's been just great and dandy for making America great again. So, just curious. All right, I'll leave it here. This is just throwing this out there, but a lot of things have been on my mind, and it's a big part of it. I still can't get over. I can't get over that we've allowed fracking in this nation. I can't. It's like so insane to me that we will allow a corporation to pump unknown substances into the earth, trying to break up this rock that could produce a little bit of gas. And I don't even care if it was a lot of gas. How insane do we have to be to allow members of our own species to pollute, or at a minimum, potentially pollute our groundwater, at a knowing and all-knowing point will absolutely and has already polluted our groundwater in several states? When did we reach such a low threshold that was acceptable? That legislators would actually sign up on a bill that says, go ahead, take a risk. My kids and my grandkids don't mean shit to me anyway, so take a risk. As long as they do it in some other state, as long as it doesn't affect my kids. I guess those are the better ones. Those are the better angels, aren't they? I don't know. I scratch my head, the geoengineering schemes that are absolutely going on above our heads, without a doubt, without a question. I can point them out now. I do. To not know the difference between a chemically nucleated trail and a regular condensation trail, to me, is unacceptable. There's no more excusing this welfare intelligence, this welfare queen intellect. It's what it is. That's not my problem. Somebody else deal with it. We have people that bitch about welfare queens on the financial end because of money, but these same ass clowns are intellectual welfare queens. They know nothing. They don't care to learn anything. They want somebody else to do all the heavy lifting. The only difference is they're not getting paid to be an imbecile and an asshole. They're not getting paid. It's the only difference. And they're a lot more dangerous and destructive to our society. A lot more destructive. There are many more intellectual welfare queens than there are actual financial welfare queens. They're walking off with a little bit of cash. America is losing its place with the intellectual welfare queens. Just absolutely divided and conquered. Played like a really poorly tuned fiddle. Just played, and I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. Anyway, it's just some thoughts, and I'm going to be rambling on. I'll probably put more videos out more frequently now. We'll see. I am troubled. I don't even know that I can say I have any more hope or faith. I keep clinging to it, hoping and praying that there are mass arrests and that the representatives of the people and the Federal Reserve, or the president files an executive order saying, stop this now. We will begin the creation of a new currency that's backed, and it's the people's purse. It's the people's bank. I keep waiting for some dream like that to come to pass, and it hasn't yet. So, uh, we could create heaven on earth, but I don't think that we're evolved enough to do that yet. I think it's going to be. Here's the problem. Here's where I say time is of the essence. I don't know that we have the time anymore. I think we're running the last quarter mile here. That minute to midnight thing, 2 minutes to midnight from Iron Maiden, and I don't know that we have enough time now. I could say, yeah, we'll evolve in a couple of more decades. I don't think we have a couple more decades. That sounds dire, and because it is. I don't believe we have a couple more decades. I think this is the last decade to get this right. We're either going to wake up, the 100th monkey syndrome kicks in, and we get this right. Everybody comes together and says, hey, we've been played fools, and we're taking our power back. You guys are done. We got a nice little prison cell for you. Give you some time to think about what you've done. The war crimes against humanity on so many levels: financial, military, political, just selling out, being sellouts to these corporations, these mega corporations that have no allegiance or loyalty to any nation, only themselves. Luciferians. So, something to think about. Anyway, thanks for listening. If you're still here, I do ramble, and I'm willing to continue to ramble. If you're not, I understand. It's all good. I'll talk to you later. It's Eagle 1023. I'm going to sign out. Oh, one more thing. Something I wanted to say about Eagle. Somebody challenged me that Enlil, the god of the earth and skies, was his thing was the eagle. Okay, that was his representation, and the double-headed eagle. And the eagle has been used as a mascot for so many nations that have created so much hell on earth. I get that. I understand the eagle is a scavenger. It'll steal other prey's food. I've heard all the stories, and I understand. But I'm Eagle 1023 not because I'm of the tribe of Enlil. That's ridiculous. I'm Eagle 1023 because I have adored and loved eagles since I was a kid. I just always have. I collect eagles. I've been collecting eagles for decades. Statues of eagles. I got a glass eagle. I got a couple of glass eagles. I got eagles. One over here that's actually etched in glass with the 9/11 towers underneath them. I have an eagle trophy over here. I have porcelain eagles and glass eagles and brass eagles, and I love the animal. I love the bird, and I'm not going to succumb to you can't support the eagle now because that makes you part of Enlil's team. I'm not playing that game. So I'm going to remain Eagle 1023. If someone wants to create some nonsense and they're thinking that means anything, I can't stop that energy. I say good luck with that. Do whatever you have to, whatever makes you feel good. But I really do love the bird, the eagle. I do see it as a majestic flying creature. And like everything else, like the swastika, it gets a bad name. The swastika was not meant as a derogatory symbol. It never was until we made it so. Until a certain part of humanity made it so. So anyway, just something to think about. Again, it's Eagle 1023. I'm going to go sign out, and I hope you're all doing well. I will have rants and raves about other things, or just maybe not rants and raves, but discussions. Just offering my perspective and kind of where I'm coming from. Again, I am troubled, but maybe we'll get it right. I don't know. So I'll talk to you later. See ya. It's Eagle 1023 signing out. Namaste.